Two battles for the price of one. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another 12-12 Medieval Kingdoms online battle. Today we have an epic scenario engagement as you guys have been asking for more kind of setup scenarios with cool maps, and my Discord have gone ahead and delivered. So I want to give them a massive shout out before we get into this battle. They really put in so much work into creating all of these battles, so I just want to say a big thank you. They're even creating, you know, these scenarios with cool custom maps that are being designed for the battles themselves from an awesome modder called LolWat3. He's done a bunch of these Rise of Mordor maps, and now he's creating these simple but really cool scenario battles that just allow for some really epic engagements. So be sure to keep an eye on the channel, more of them will be coming. But today we are just using an encampment battle, but this one has a really interesting twist in the engagement. So we have two armies on either side of the field. We have a Croatian and Serbian army. The Croatians are currently garrisoning this awesome fort with their PVs, looking very cool. And then we have a Serbian force who is set outside of the, I guess, fortifications, I'll call them, fort, I don't know, let's call them something along them lines. And that Serbian army is facing up against the Elector of Trier. And the interesting thing about this engagement, or the scenario behind it, is that these two have to fight out in the open before they're allowed to help anything over in the fortifications fort over on his left-hand side. So that allows the Holy Roman Emperor to go ahead and try and conquer the fort. However, if you know, they can hold off long enough and the forces of Serbia can defeat Trier, then they can reinforce at the fort and vice versa. If Trier manage to beat back the forces of Serbia, then they can reinforce. So this is a really cool kind of twist on reinforcement battles. We have a pitch battle going on alongside a kind of fortification battle. So it should just make for a really interesting engagement. Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Serbia have a little bit more money than Trier, as they've kind of taken it from their defended Croatian allies in the fort. So it basically, hopefully, what that'll mean is that the Serbians maybe have a little bit more of an advantage. Not a massive one, but a small advantage over on this right-hand side, meaning that they can quickly go ahead and advance up and move forward. And the battle is going to get right underway with this pitch battle as the crossbows of Trier just unload their volleys at the enemy. They've got some really nice PVs crossbowmen who can protect themselves with that huge shield, as well as output a lot of damage over on this right hand side. We can see again lots of these Lithuanians, sorry, I'm so used to seeing Lithuania, these Serbian spearmen with these awesome looking shields. Very cool indeed. And they're going to be advancing up as well as the archer volley does go back and forth as this battle gets underway. Over on the fortification side of the engagement, we have some of the Holy Roman Empire bowmen moving closer and closer. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if we saw them burning the fort, because you can burn this entire fortification up. However, that does a really valuable thing. It buys the Croatians time inside the fort, and the more time they buy, the more likely it is that Serbia will come out on top and go ahead and reinforce them. This should also be a really interesting battle, because we have like just an exciting like forest fight, open field fight, fort fight. It should just make for a really cinematic battle. So yeah, I just want to say, like, I'm just so happy that these guys are creating these epic battles, because they're extremely fun to watch, and yeah, the more of these bad boys the better. Also, there was actually, interestingly, another patch, 2.12.12. I like to feel like my videos are kind of aided in that, but I feel like yeah, so there's been a recent patch that basically has meant that when units are really spread out like this, their bracing is absolutely awful, meaning that even light cavalry can smash through these kind of spaghetti lines really effectively. Whereas when you're a bit more dense, you get a huge bracing bonus. So obviously in a lot of these battles, we've seen these really thin lines, and we're seeing them even still. However, in the most recent patch, as I said, they've made it so that the lines, you know, if you are dense, you can withstand even heavy cavalry quite effectively. But if you're really long like this, even light cavalry can pierce a hole through your formation and cause havoc in the back ranks. So yeah, I kind of feel like our videos had something to do with it, but you know, it's still cool to kind of see that being addressed, because I feel like it was kind of a bit of an issue in the battles, as you know, we just see these huge long lines, which does add a lot of scale, and it's kind of nice seeing that, you know, things have been addressed to it. We've seen like second lines being involved in to kind of almost ward the cavalry into these channels to be caught by the next line of infantry and stuff. But You know, I'm always more for these more dense lines. And speaking of which, we're going to actually get a cavalry harassment right now. Some light cavalry moving out. And I think this is going to be really good for the light cavalry as well, just because they're so much faster. And the fact that they can now pierce through enemy shield walls. It's going to be very, very effective. Yeah, there you go. They're going to be smashing in. And as you can see, they basically managed to pierce the ranks here. Now they're going to be pulling out. Are these like mercenaries? Yeah, these are Cumans. So these are obviously from like Asia Minor area. And they're going to be moving back into the behind the enemy lines. But let's just show the power of this light cavalry. Obviously, we're not going to be able to stand up against, you know, the heavy knights of Europe and stuff like that. That's not their role. Their role is just to hit and run. And the fact that they can now smash through ranks is also, I think, going to give them so much power. Over on this other side as well, we do actually have some of the Croatian knights moving out. These guys are heavy shot cavalry, and they're going to be getting chased down by the Imperial Ritter. The Imperial Ritter are going to be pursuing them. And it's actually going to bring them into missile fire. You can see a few horses going down. Same over on this side, though, as the Croatians are getting pierced out by missiles. So both sides losing a few horses in that skirmish, but no real engagement whatsoever as they fall back. And it's really surprising that no side is really looking just to commit everything right away to the battle. Oh, I should say as well, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Croatians inside the fortress aren't allowed to move out and help their allies, the Serbians, and obviously vice versa. These are two separate battles, and it's only whoever wins this engagement, who fully routes this engagement, are allowed to then reinforce over on this right-hand side. And it does look a little bit silly just because, you know, the size of the map is like, oh, why wouldn't they? But, you know, you got to just keep in mind, battlefields are limited in size in Attila, so you can't really have these huge battles. And I think it would just be really, really dumb, for example, if the battlefield was massive and this army, after fighting a huge battle, then had to walk its way over for like 10 minutes to the fort. You know, just keep in mind, you know, they're trying to, I guess, keep the fortifications as fresh as possible, split the enemy up. And these guys are like mortal enemies. Also, look at that archer fire going in. That is just hammering the Treves crossbowmen as they turn their backs to fall back. And the infantry lines are getting closer and closer. Yeah, this is much better with all like the defensive lines, but we've got 4 ranks deep. I think this would be much more effective against cavalry charges than, say, the 2 ranks that these spearmen have. Yeah, for sure. Crossbows are going to be trying to find. You can see them all focusing down like a 1 or 2 units back here. The archers are quite vulnerable over in the center, though. So if any cavalry does get around, they can definitely cause some havoc. We actually do have a small infantry engagement out here, though, as the Serbians throw forward their infantry. I love the like Balkan / Eastern European infantry. I love that shield. Where is it? It's like right there. You can barely see it. No, it's not. None of them. It's for like the curved kind of shield, like that. Oh my god, it keeps on missing. They did this one right here. I love this shield so much. It looks so awesome. Really, really cool. I saw a little cavalry engagement over here as well, as the Croatians do go out and meet the Imperial Ritter in the open field. And these guys are causing havoc, trying to hit away at these crossbowmen. But it seems like they've just there's too much infantry here, and they're going to get caught and killed quite effectively. We're getting a lot of cavalry move forward as well as they try and harass in here. And again, another unit of the Croatian cavalry is going to be caught. So that's pretty brutal for them, honestly. Losing their cavalry. They are going to take a disadvantage, though, to move forward with their halberds and try and get any extra kills on these horses as they fall back. But again, that's going to leave them very vulnerable. And there's 2 units of HRE archers who could easily seize this opportunity and try and take them out. Brutal stuff, and yeah, these guys are going to quickly make their way back. The assault is still going on, and we also got artillery coming out trying to do some damage. Again, I'm surprised that no more breaches have been made in this war. Like, it hasn't been burnt down whatsoever. The front lines, though, of the Serbians and Trier have fully engaged, and we're getting heavy infantry going up against heavy infantry. This should be a very, very brutal battle, as both sides really dive into the engagement. A real back and forth right now. Well, the thing is as well that the Serbians have a lot of like strength in their front line and their flanks, whereas the Trier forces have a lot of their men sitting back. And I assume these guys are all 15th century infantry, so they're all the top tier infantry, and they're kind of just waiting to commit these knights into battle. So these guys are much more of a reactionary force, and their spearmen are already doing a pretty good job as well. Wow, the Trier militia swordsmen. Oh no, sorry, that's the infantry for Serbia even. So where are a lot of their infantry? Have they just got Trier? No, they've got like heavy infantry here as well. So So I guess they've just kind of mixed in militia swordsmen into their front line. They've brought up some more spearmen here. They've also got a lot of really good spearmen as well, who are basically blockading. This is like a Russian stand right here, not one step back. If you go back, you get killed by our own men. And that's one way to make your men fight for you. Over on this other side as well, we have some more infantry and also the halberdiers. Italian mercenaries, I think, on both sides. I know these are Elector halberdiers going up against the Italian mercenaries. And they're just going to, this is going to be like a slow fight. But basically, it just kind of cuts down this flank as much as they can. And a big back and forth as we do actually have the heavy infantry being committed now to the fight. We are getting a lot more infantry being thrown in, as we can see down the battle line. The two-handed swordsman, or I guess like axeman, halberdierman, great axeman maybe, are now being committed to the fight, looking to open up and take down some of the elite infantry. And I imagine we'll also be seeing that. Surprisingly, you haven't seen much cavalry really being used over on this left-hand side. Besides, the heavy engagements right now. The thing is as well, I think they want to try and stay out of this kind of tower range, because right now the Croatian towers are really helping out the Serbians. A couple kills here and there could definitely turn the tide. We do, though, have some heavy cavalry just absolutely smashing through this unit of unbraced swordsmen, and they're going to be able to quickly go around, and Trier is going to get a nice rear flank into these swordsmen, and then also into the Knights of Serbia as well. The Knights of Serbia are holding their own. They are heavy shot cavalry. They're going up against what I assume is going to be heavy shot cavalry. Yeah, both heavy shot cavalry. The cavalry fight, definitely very back and forth. This dude has a fucking arrow in the back of his armor. Lots of kills. How is this fight, though? Yes, we do now have the HRE committing their infantry to a fight. I guess there must have been a rule about burning down the fortifications, which does make sense, for sure. Because obviously you can burn down this entire, everything along here. So I was just surprised that they weren't doing it. But the fact that they're not doing it probably suggests that there was a rule against it, if I'm honest. And this is going to be slow as well, a slow push up into the fortifications, just solely because of the strength of Pavisa holding. But Pavisa don't necessarily get a lot of kills most of the time. However, they're just such a unit for just holding its ground and staying alive, tying up as much infantry as they can. So you have a lot of HRE infantry moving up. We also have some halberds up here. And these towers are going mad right now. Look at them, they're shooting out in every direction. Jesus Christ, look at that tower. They're literally like a goddamn machine gun nest up there. Just mowing people away. That thing is crazy. That needs to be burnt down. I guess, again, they have a rule against doing it. But, yeah, these towers are insanely powerful. My God. The Knights are still fighting, which is surprising considering there is an Elector unit of men-at-arms here. And also, on top of that, we actually do have some of the Trier Knights being beaten by the Serbians, which was something I was not expecting to see. I thought the German Knights would easily dispatch their Knights from Eastern Europe, but maybe not. Also in the front line as well, we can just see this. I guess we'll zoom out as well so we can get a proper look at the battle. Over on this right-hand side, we can see that both sides are really going back and forth. Some of the Croatian line on the kind of this left-center flank has really broken away. Then we have the Trier infantry pushing forward. Then over in the center, you can see that they are putting up a good stand, routing a few infantry. And it's really the right flank right here for Serbia that is kind of winning them that part of the battlefield. But I imagine, we still have this entire infantry line right here as well, which can be committed. And now we see that Trier are starting to commit a few units of their heavy 15th century knights. Over in the fortifications as well, we do have the fort that is being surrounded, infantry coming in from every side. But again, I just feel like these towers are just doing so much damage for Serbia. And it's going to be a while until anything really happens. We do, however, have a general unit being brought out. And again, we can see kind of the battlefield itself. So you can still see that there are still some spearmen in here. And there's going to be a big rout over on this side if they're not careful. I guess that's why the infantry is being committed. We have a general unit right here for the Croatians. And he's going to go for a pretty epic charge there right into the back. That was a very, very nice assault right there. Pushing him onto the Pavese. Doing lots and lots of damage. And now he's going to try and get out there. It's going to leave him extremely vulnerable to the crossbow fire though. And there is only 50 men in his unit as well. Is he like a famous general? Ban of Croatia. What's the ban of Croatia? I guess that's like their leader. Like we got the Doge of Milan and Venice, or Venice even. The forest fight seems to go heavily in favor of Trier, and they're smashing down. The center parts of the fight are pretty horrific right now for... I don't know, actually. Maybe not. Maybe they are doing a great job at holding. So I honestly don't know. I mean, but, you know, maybe Trier just have this battle out here, because they're going to clear out all of this and then just simply win over on this other side. More of she's going to be committed. But the halberds are dying. Yeah, the halberds are dying, and the Italian mercenaries are very much still alive. So I don't know. It really is anyone's game right now. The Van's power is in favor of the HRE and Trier. However, they obviously have to, you know, take the fortress and overwhelm the men there. So yeah, I mean, it was actually a 2,000 man difference. So it was actually, oh my god, it's 22,000 men in this battle to begin with. You know, and people give Attila a bad rap. I know I have a good computer and all, but still, people give Attila a bad rap, and you know, yeah, it's just running really, really well. We had 22,000 men, and we've had a little bit of like lag, you know, here and there, but nothing too serious. And that's why I'm really, really looking forward to doing the 12-12 campaign when it eventually comes out. It's because it's gonna, you know, it's not gonna be like this mess of lag. You're really gonna have like very, very nice big battles. I'm definitely gonna have to do a head-to-head with someone on that. Maybe I can even convince Apollo. We can do our 100 Years War plan that we've been talking about for so long. Oh my god, a crossbow fire coming out as well from both sides, really harassing more of the infantry. The HRE is having a hard time breaking through these defenses. They really, really are. And as I said, it's going to really, really come down to whoever wins that fight over here. And I guess we should now kind of make more of an effort to focus down on this fight, as they are committing more and more infantry. We are seeing a bunch of, you know, weak infantry back here routing. Oh wow, look at that. The Archbishop is also going to get a rear charge into the Italian mercenaries. That is going to be huge for this battle. We also got whose general going down? I'm not sure whose general died. It was the Allied general, so I imagine, unless the Croatian general was out here. No, that's a unit of HRE Pavis. Where's the Croatian general? Back here. So yeah, I assume he's still alive. So it must have been the, it must have been the Serbian general who went down. And the HRE there, the German knights have eventually won in that prolonged engagement. I imagine mainly because the infantry fight went in their favour, and now they're sending all their cavalry over, because the quicker they deal with this, the quicker they can get over and start assaulting the fort and trying to break through the defences of Croatia, who are now seemingly left alone. I think we're already starting to see infantry being committed over here. However, they're not allowed to help, so I imagine they'll have to stay out of range of the towers and then just simply charge in as soon as they finish off the last couple of units, because there are still a handful of infantry. And realistically, for the defenders as well, it is really up to, you know, is really up to the Italian mercenaries of Serbia for just simply staying alive as long as possible, so that, you know, the Croatian defenders have as much time to do as much damage to the HRE. What would be really interesting as well is if, you know, maybe they put a time limit on this battle as well, you know. A good rear charge there again. Yeah, I was going to say, the German Imperial Knights are very, very difficult to take care of. Probably some of the best knights in Europe, next to, you know, the English, and maybe not even the English, maybe next to the French, I should say, would be a better example. Then the English do have some very, very good heavy knights, but the French and the Germans are just, you know, really good. Oh no, so there we have it. The entire Serbian army has now been defeated. Trier seemingly won that battle kind of convincingly. They have a lot left, and I guess maybe they would just give them more money because these guys were defending, which is kind of interesting to note. And now they're going to quickly be rushing over as fast as they can. The battle has now begun, and you're going to be getting these 15th century infantry quickly being committed to a fight. I like to think a messenger ran off to the Holy Roman Emperor as well, telling them that victory has been assured, and now they can surround this fort and end the day. Yeah, we're going to be committing and looking just to basically stretch the Croatian defenders as far as they can, as thin as possible. That's really what you want to do. You want to go ahead and basically just make sure they're defending every single avenue. Again, maybe now they're allowed to burn down some stuff as well. Be interesting to see if that rule's kind of changed. But maybe it was just a balancing thing, because by the looks of it, it seems like the Germans did get maybe more money. I'm not sure if they get the 15% Attila gives to attackers and defenders, or what, and that kind of really determined the fight out there. Because in Attila, if you don't know, the defenders always get 15% less. Oh wow, they're going very, very close into these PVs. Kind of not what you want to do with Italian mercenaries. You want to keep them as far away as possible. But it seems like they're doing a very, very good job. And I think Trier just, now that they've turned up, really just want to break into this fort as quickly as possible. The sword infantry as well being brought up to kind of act as a screen for the Italian mercenaries. Give them a little bit more armor protection. Sorry, these aren't even Italian mercenaries. I'm getting a little bit confused. These are the Elector halberds. Very, very proficient unit over there. Getting crossbows being brought up. The crossbows, oh, this is such a good move right here by the HRE. This is really nice. They brought their crossbows up close enough so they can actually help out in the fight over there. You can see a lot of their bolts are actually fighting targets into the back of the swordsmen of Croatia. This is a really, really nice tactic. Are these burning or what? It looks like they're kind of smoking, but I'm not sure if they're setting fire to any of this. So there has been some fire damage now. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. And there's a little bit of smoking here and there, so I'm wondering if this is being set alight or not. More infantry being thrown in, but these PVs are supported by the halberds as well of Croatia, are really, really holding effectively. This is very much like the best defensive setup you could literally ask for. Halberds supported by PV spearmen. The only other thing you'd else would want would maybe another unit of pike. Imagine how ridiculous that would be. PVs on top of halberds with pikes going through them. That'd be ridiculous, and I think that'd be a step too far. Does seem like the Croatian king has also been doing some great harassment, though, actually routing a unit of Trier PVs, which is going to obviously add up. We do actually have the Archbishop Elector of Trier, though, moving up to scare them off, and it does seem like the Croatian king has also been engaged by some Imperial Ritter who are not going to let him escape. And I think that's going to be it for the Croatian king. Yeah, there you go. He goes down. I wasn't sure if it was going to be one of the brave men. And these unit of halberds even got committed out here. But they need to go back if they're not careful. They're going to get charged. It would be a great idea for the Imperial Ritter to charge them. However, they don't want to get these guys caught out. Because even if you lost some of your horses, catching this unit out by itself in the middle of this field would have been perfect. You've done so much damage to it. You really, really could have. So again, we'll take a nice little glimpse out. We've got this entire reinforcement army coming in very soon. I imagine it's resting right now, but will be committed very soon. And now it's simply just a grind through. All that needs to have happen is one breach to be created. As soon as one breach is made, that's going to be really bad. I mean, it's not like Croatia don't have a lot of heavy infantry. They have a bunch of these, you know, communal nobles. So pretty good infantry, you know, heavily armored, huge axes and halberds and stuff. However, you know, when breaches start to occur and the spearmen go down, that's when it's going to be not as effective. Guys just facing off, looking for any opening through the PV's shield wall, but that's, yeah, a very, very hard task. Also seems like the halberds are doing a good job at moving forward. Again, as I said, slowly grinding their way forward. Oh no, there we go. When it rains, it pours. The breach has occurred. The HRE are throwing forward their infantry. Everything is getting in now. And I think this is going to be the beginning of the end. The Croatians need to quickly plug that gap as quickly as possible. Again, I think they're arresting a large portion of this infantry over here, now committing a few more. And the HRE is just going to funnel everything in. It is really, really up to the HRE basically just to not allow anything here. And oh, some Imperial Ritter charging in against unbraced infantry. That wasn't as effective, but they're also going to be charging in against braced infantry. Oh, wow. Yeah, these guys getting run down. They were in shield wall, but they weren't braced. They tried to countercharge. And countercharging is like the worst thing you can do. So the HRE are actually losing infantry right here. However, they bought themselves enough time to get more of their infantry into the city itself, or into the fort itself. or any other places looking kind of close to going down, yeah, this position right here is looking extremely likely that it's going to be the next breach point. And the thing is as well, the Croatians are having to commit so much infantry over to this hole. If another breach point occurs, it's just over for them. We also have this cavalry as well. The Imperial Ritter just causing mayhem in the back ranks, charging some halberds from the front. However, that's going to allow this infantry to get in their back and slaughter them. If I was the HRE and I saw this, I would just pull my men through, because these guys are facing the wrong way, obviously, to deal with the cavalry, which was the right decision. However, I would select all of this and just bring it forward, because they're not going to be taking any more casualties because they're faced up like this. And look at them turning around. There's now gaps appearing in this line. The HRE can really, you know, take advantage of the infantry having to turn around. And they can maybe get infantry through each of these gaps quite effectively. Crossbows are still being extremely effective, and infantry, as you can see, you have some Imperial dismounted Ritter right here. Heavy knights. And this fighting has just devolved into a battle to the end. The Croatians are putting up a great fight, but I just don't think they have enough infantry, especially as Trier have all of these infantrymen left. They are severely depleted, but even still, the Croatians losing their Serbian ally could be huge. I say that, though, it seems like the Croatians are putting up a great stand right there. Oh, but yeah, look at this. There's just a unit of archers right here. It's over. It must be. I think as soon as this goes down, it doesn't seem like there's much in the way of reinforcements either. I think this gap is going to break very soon. And then everyone's going to go in. But, I mean, the Croatians have done an amazing job right here surrounding, but the Imperial Ritter is now being committed as well. We've got some of a great charge there by the communal nobles going in against the 15th century heavy infantry of the HRE. More knights turning around the corner as well. We've got some 13th century infantry, along with the Emperor himself, who's going to be charging in with support of his infantry. And two more units of cavalry is going to be coming in very soon. Is that broken yet? No, that's still holding, surprisingly. The other breach points are, you know, still doing a great job at defending. However, you know, as I said, it's only a matter of time, I feel, until this break. I say that, though, the Croatians are doing such a good job at plugging this one hole. It's just whether or not they can hold here long enough. Really, they need to commit maybe more infantry over here and just try and keep that at bay. Now they've routed this unit, they really need to send another unit over here, because these archers are only going to hold for so long. As you can see, they're wielding axes and small swords. Nothing compared to what the knights are wearing for Trier. Yeah, they're getting too caught up here fighting the cavalry, and that's mainly down to the HRE just throwing away anything they can. They're literally committing all of their cavalry, all of their infantry, in the sole purpose of just tying down this squadron. Because as you can see, as soon as these guys go, all of this Trier infantry can go in. Also, a lot of the infantry who are committed over here are extremely depleted, like really depleted. The Croatians are down to under 2,000 men now, and there you go, the routing has occurred and all of this infantry is going to come in. I assume we would see all of this pour in as well. I just don't think we have enough left over here, but yeah, the Croatians are actually ended up losing now. They managed to kill so much, but it's just a little bit too late. Even with these OP-ass towers, the Croatians are struggling. I assume they were given 25% less money, just with how this battle has turned out. Because normally in defensive battles, or like, I guess anything with a structure, the defender always gets 25% less in sieges. And I assume that does kind of follow over to fort battles as well. More infantry being committed out as loads of dudes being thrown. I'm surprised that the Trier electors of Trier aren't committing more infantry over here. It must be painful as well not having a general as well in this battle. Not having a general is going to be huge for morale. So I think both Trier and also the Emperor both still have their generals, as the Emperor makes a daring charge right now through the ranks. Looking to go ahead and try and get a nice little rear charge, trying to hit these crossbows, silence them. The Croatian infantry is basically broken completely, and that is going to be it. That is going to be the battle, as the HRE and the Trier electors charge in and finish off this engagement. What an awesome scenario that was, though. Honestly, guys, keep these battles coming. They are so much fun. They really, really are. And if you guys are interested in being a part of these battles as well, be sure to join the Discord. The link will be in the description down below. There's always games being hosted on the Discord a lot more recently over the Christmas period, so now's the perfect time to get in, whether it's Warhammer 2, Tiller, Rome, maybe you can even find some people to play some Shogun with, which would be pretty awesome to get a replay or two on that as well. But yeah, really, really cool battle overall. Love the scenario of having that pitched battle out in the front and then the fort battle over here. Oh wow, the HRE general, the Emperor, has been slain on the field of battle. Well, even though the Croatians and Serbians are done, they managed to kill the Emperor of the HRE, and that's a pretty impressive feat, to say the least. I'm sure they'll be happy with that battle. Killing the Emperor, yeah, that's pretty important. There we have it. We'll take a look at the kills, see if any units really racked up a ridiculous amount of casualties. So we'll start off by looking at the forces of Serbia. So we'll say they did okay on the front line. Their infantry really kind of just got outclassed by the Germans, though, out in that pitched battle. You have a few over 100, but if we take a look at Trier as well, we can see that their heavy infantry, these units of halberds getting over 300 kills, really, really impressive. And then all of their Elector men-at-arms as well, the two-handed sword infantry, again, just did a great job. 200 kills, 300 kills on the general. Yeah, it seemed like the Serbians got a little bit outclassed on that infantry fight, unfortunately. The spearmen did a good job, though. They're proper good tier 15th century infantry. Did do decently, but yeah, their infantry just did not have the quality to beat up onto the Trier infantry. Then over on the defenders, Croatians, their halberdiers did great, and also their nobles. Considering these guys committed right towards the end of the battle, that was pretty impressive. Then finally, we'll take a look at the Holy Roman Empire, and again, their cavalry doing decently. Their infantry didn't really get too stuck in, but it was very hard breaking through them PVs, and obviously their halberdiers doing good along with their missiles. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you want to see more, be sure to drop a like and a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys in the next one.